5 years after the breakup, Julian's call lit up my screen. How have you been? The familiar voice froze me. Bitterness seeped from my chest until it tasted like metal on my tongue. What do you want? He didn't answer. Only our breathing moved through the line. I was a second from hanging up when he spoke again. If I hadn't fallen for someone else, if we hadn't walked away, would everything be different now? Before we go on, subscribe and tell us where you're listening from. I sat there, phone against my ear, then quietly ended the call. What's done is done. Whether the ending could change stopped mattering the moment it ended. I thought the whole thing was just a hiccup in an ordinary week, but the next morning Brianna showed up. In the 5 years since Julian and I split, I'd opened a small pottery studio I called Serena. Brianna stepped inside, swept her gaze over the shelves and wheels, and finally let it land on me like something stuck to her heel. Still clinging to the past, Serena? Julian and I are married. Control yourself and stop calling him. Or I can't promise what I'll do. She wore a luxury trench, carried a bag that cost more than my kiln, even her hair gloated. My eyes stopped at the ring on her left hand. He's the one who called me. She snorted. Then hang up. Admit it, Serena, you're still daydreaming. Women read women, I can see the script in your eyes. After we broke up I'd erased every trace of him, yesterday's number wasn't even saved. I didn't bother explaining. Are you finished? I need to open for business. My indignation flared her anger. She stepped closer, mouth open to spit more venom. A silhouette I still knew by heartbeat shoved through the door. Julian grabbed her wrist. What are you doing here? I told you, she's not part of this. Stop making a scene. Brianna wrenched free, face fracturing. Julian, you're still protecting her? Look at me, I'm your wife. His eyes flicked to me, ashamed. Sorry. I'll get her out. I dipped my chin and said nothing. Their marriage wasn't mine to referee. Muscle 1, Julian hauled her outside, her curses spraying the sidewalk. 10 minutes later he walked back in, alone. He stood in front of me, silent. I kept stacking yesterday's student pieces, eyes on the clay. Can I help you, Caldwell? The formal name made his shoulders flinch. After a long beat he spoke. 1. It's been a while. Chapter 2. My hands stilled, my throat tightened until words couldn't squeeze through. 20 years, Julian and I had filled 20 entire years. I was 6 the first time I saw him at the orphanage, he was 8. New and terrified, I hid behind mother's skirt. Julian jogged over, stared, then grinned. You're really pretty. I looked up, saw sweat bead on his forehead and galaxies in his eyes. In that instant the world steadied. From then on we were inseparable, each believed the other was gravity. Even mother teased, wherever Serena is, Julian's glance never wanders. From 6 to 26 he colored every page. Now I'm 31. I set the mug down and studied the man in front of me. At 33 Julian wore success like a new cologne, but 5 blank years gave off a scent I didn't recognize. It's been a while, I answered. His eyes sparked. I've wanted to come earlier, but the timing was never right. Sorry about Brianna, she's young and, I cut in. If there's nothing else, please leave. Whatever we were, we're not people who chat over coffee. I stepped around him. His voice landed behind me, thick. 1. I was wrong. I stopped. I lost you. Hit me, yell at me, just don't lock the door. Please, don't treat me like a stranger. I stood there, then walked to the entrance and pulled the glass door wide. He looked at me once more and left. Watching him go, my nose stung, not for him, for me. Julian, I have no language for forgiveness, so I said nothing. The next morning I arrived to find the storefront splashed with red paint and smothered in flyers. Serena. Homewrecker. Slut. Neighbors gathered, fingers flying. 30 and still single, no wonder, she's somebody's mistress. Gold digger, I've seen the type, poor wife. Drive her out. My husband takes classes here, with a face like hers, who knows? Their voices braided into one rope of noise. Then Brianna appeared, gliding through the circle. Like my gift? This is the price for not staying in your lane. Look in the mirror, Serena. What exactly can you fight me with? I beat you 5 years ago, I'll beat you today. The first time I met her was 5 years back. I was on the apartment balcony, rocking chair creaking, when the knock came. She wore a ponytail, skin glowing with the blush of the loved, confidence so bright it hurt to look at. I knew. I stepped aside. Something to drink? It's cold, hot water. My calm through her. Don't you want to know who I am? Chapter 3. My hand paused over the kettle. I know. Sit, don't hover. She nested into the sofa, lining her smile. I've been with Julian forever. Let him go. I poured the water. How long is forever? The question fed her pride. 2 years and counting. I was a freshman when he donated lab equipment to our college, love at first sight. I handed her the mug. 2 years, let me see, when Julian and I hit that mark he was a junior. Back then he wasn't President Caldwell yet, just a penniless kid whose college tuition depended on student loans. What was I doing? I was working double shifts. He needed classes, so I paid for them. I didn't want him distracted. I couldn't bear to watch him juggle books and a job, so I carried the whole load myself. You know what he told me? One day I'll earn piles of money, and I'll give you the good life. Later, he kept that promise, became President Caldwell, built the company into an empire. She probably didn't expect me to spill those memories, her face twisted in discomfort, but she still spoke. But he doesn't love you anymore. I froze, speechless for a long moment. 20 years of history, I knew him better than anyone. Julian had someone on the side, how could I not notice? While I was still dazed, Julian burst through the front door. His eyes locked on Brianna the instant he stepped inside. He yanked Brianna off the couch and tucked her behind him, glaring at me with pure disgust. Serena, if you've got something to say it to me, leave her out of it. She's young and clueless, why are you picking on her? Watching him move on reflex, I felt fat tears splatter down my cheeks. Young? I was only 26 then, just 3 years older than her. Now, as Brianna stood in front of me, her makeup perfect, clothes obviously expensive, while my face was bare and my outfit was straight off a night market rack, we looked a decade apart, not 3. I ignored her taunt, lowered my head, and dialed the precinct. While I gave my statement at the station, Julian rushed in after someone tipped him off. I don't know what he whispered to the officers. When he came back, he was alone. He sat across from me and slid a bank card across the table. Serena, take this. There's 50 grand on it, should cover the damage to your shop. Brianna's young and reckless, try to cut her some slack. I'll lecture her when we get home. I promise this won't happen again. I stared at that sliver of plastic until my eyes burned. Julian had been the one to confess his feelings first, yet I was the one who kept paying the price. I knew exactly how sharp he was. The minute he said he wanted university, I dropped out and worked to bankroll him. When he graduated and wanted to start a company, I stood beside him, shuttling from one neon-soaked happy hour to the next. Once profits trickled in, he decided he didn't want me parading in public, so I stayed home to wash his shirts and simmer his meals. Not a single share of the firm ever touched my name, it was all his. Today Julian is Riverdale's revered tycoon, President Caldwell. And me? Just the owner of a little pottery studio. I lifted my head and looked straight into his eyes. Julian, do you honestly think money is enough? Chapter 4. His fingers twitched, he couldn't meet my gaze and started stammering. Serena. Fine, name your figure, whatever you want. A laugh popped out of me. The laugh kept coming until my vision blurred. In the early days Julian got kicked around plenty, forced to toast every big shot at the table, swallow whiskey until his stomach screamed, then stumble to the restroom and stick a finger down his throat. My heart ached at the poison he poured into himself, but I also knew deals are greased that way. We rented a cramped room near an alley where a wonton soup cart stayed lit all night. After every bender I'd walk him over and share one bowl to settle his stomach. We were broke, so we ordered only one. I always claimed I wasn't hungry, nibbled a couple of wontons, then declared I was full. I thought I hid it well. Until the night he stared into the steaming broth and fat tears slipped off his lashes into the soup. He said, Julian only needs Serena in this lifetime. I swear I'll give you the good life. Yet when he dumped me and threw me out of the house, he looked down from his high perch. Serena, this company is mine alone. What does any of that money have to do with you? Don't disgust me. Promises are funny, the speaker means them at the moment, and the listener believes at the moment. So what? Time eventually sanded that blazing devotion down to nothing. The glittering chase for status scraped us raw. In the end, all that remained was time, nothing else. I slid the bank card back toward him. No amount could ever be enough. Sorry, Caldwell, I will not settle. A flash of embarrassment crossed his eyes. Serena, if Brianna gets jail time, Caldwell shares will nosedive. Help me, Before he could finish, the door of our little room slammed open and Brianna barged in. The second she spotted the card on the table, her face contorted in outrage. She snatched the card and hurled it at my cheek. Serena, shame on you, hitting Julian up for cash? Listen up, Julian and I are married. Every penny he earns is community property. If you dare touch a dollar, I'll make sure you can't survive in Riverdale. I almost laughed. I rose and cracked my palm hard across her face. Ask Julian yourself, without Serena, would Caldwell exist today? A side piece who can't even face daylight, who gave you the right to scream at me? Brianna, that slap is the interest on the one you owed me 5 years ago. Without another glance at either of them, I walked out of the precinct. Just as I was about to step through the exit, Julian's voice chased me. Serena, you still blame me, don't you? I didn't turn, I kept moving. Feeling me pull away, he rasped again, Serena, I regret it. My foot paused midair, a cold laugh escaped. Julian, we didn't break up because of Brianna. Do you even remember what actually ended us? Chapter 5. Because I refused to drop the charge, Brianna was lawfully sentenced to 7 days in jail. With my studio splashed in red paint, I had to suspend business, so I spent every afternoon at the orphanage playing with the kids. They chased each other across the yard, giggling. Watching them, my heart settled into a peace I hadn't felt in years. In the sunlight I thought I saw Mother smiling. The memory caught me off guard, heavy tears rolled down. Apart from Julian, Mother had been the closest thing to family I had. Abandoned over and over, I was terrified of the dark. After I arrived at the orphanage, Mother would flood the whole building with light every night, courtyard included, so not a corner stayed shadowed. She rocked me gently and whispered, Serena, don't be scared, don't be scared. 5 years ago, the day Julian dumped me, 60-something Mother knocked on his office door. She rubbed her hands, stooped and hesitant. Julian, the city's planning demolition of the old orphanage, the kids and I have to relocate. You know how many mouths we feed, our books are always empty. Your company's thriving now, could you possibly? Without lifting his head Julian answered, I'll have my secretary wire you 10 grand. That's all I can spare. Director, my business is new and expenses are high, I'm not running a charity. Alright, I'm swamped, see yourself out. I watched her hunched silhouette shuffle away, then swept all his documents off the desk. The glass on the corner crashed to the floor, shards scattered like hail. Julian, have you lost your humanity? You drop hundreds of thousands on your mistress without blinking, but that was Mother. I never thought Julian would strike without warning. A bolt of pain shot through my shoulder, and the next thing I knew I was on the floor, shards of glass biting into my palms and knees. The agony hit so hard I couldn't even push myself up. Julian didn't spare me a glance. Haven't I paid her back? He barked. Every single year since graduation I wrote the orphanage a check. How much is supposed to be enough? No Mother, no Julian today? Don't make me laugh. If she hadn't been there, some other director would have run the place. I opened my mouth to argue, but a stinging slap snapped my head sideways. Before the burn could register, Julian locked a hand around my wrist and yanked me toward the door. Nice work, Serena, eating my food, sleeping under my roof, then siding with strangers. Fine, get out. Crawl back to your precious orphanage. I had no strength left. I let him drag me like a puppet. The steel security door slammed, my legs folded, and I collapsed, knees too torn even to curl. That was the moment I finally understood. Under all the neon polish, Julian had stopped being the boy I once knew. Bad news came in waves. The next morning, Mother jumped from the roof. 20 years between Julian and me ended at that instant. That day I lost Mother. That day I lost Julian. And that very day, at 26, I became He orphanage's new mother. Chapter 6. Just then my phone buzzed, the contractor. Serena, we finished scrubbing the red paint off your shop wall. When I hung up, the kids swarmed me. Mother, can you open your studio again? Let us clean for you. I ruffled the boys' hair and nodded. They were bustling inside, mops swinging like flags, when the uninvited guest stepped in. Brianna crossed her arms, a line of black-suited men at her back. Kids feel evil faster than radar. Before I could blink they circled me, glaring at the intruders. Don't worry, Mother, we'll protect you. I didn't want them near the filth, so I led Brianna outside. Through the glass I gave the children a reassuring smile, then turned to her and the bodyguards. A week in jail didn't teach you manners? What's with the army this time? Her eyes flashed. What will it take for you to leave Riverdale? You claim you're over Julian, prove it and get out. I laughed. That great love you brag about doesn't feel so perfect, does it? Brianna, I don't owe proof to anyone, least of all you. She whipped her hand up. Who do you think you are? We're both women, I see right through you. I caught her wrist and slapped her back so hard her head snapped. I told you at the station, you owed me that for 5 years. Yesterday was just interest. Go home and keep your own man on a leash. Feeling the kids worry, I gave them another calming look. Brianna followed my gaze, spotted the children, and a cruel grin spread across her face. So you and Julian grew up together, and now you're running the place? Watch me shut it down with one phone call. My breath caught. You wouldn't dare. My panic delighted her, her shoulders relaxed. Believe it. Whatever I do, Julian will fix it. For Caldwell's sake, he can't let me fall. You have until tomorrow night. If I don't hear you're gone, say goodbye to your orphanage. She spun away, her guards falling in behind. Watching them go, I felt my heart sink stone cold. The instant he was gone, the kids burst out, chattering like sparrows. Mother, are you okay? Did that witch hurt you? We'll protect you. I smiled and shook my head. No, babies, mother protects you. Afraid she'd come back, I stayed at the home the entire next day instead of going to the studio. Sure enough, at dawn Brianna stormed in with a crowd. Round up the brats, now. Chapter 7. The playing children froze, then dove behind me. I told the older ones to herd the little kids indoors, and faced Brianna. What the hell do you think you're doing? This is their only home, where could you possibly take them? Brianna burst into wild laughter. Some home, barely standing. Listen up. She flicked open a folder. Everything I'm doing is legal. Your paperwork's a joke, Serena. You've got kids stacked here without proper registration. That's abuse in this state. I'm rescuing them. Seeing the official stamp on the forms, my tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. The orphanage license still listed mother. After she died, I tried to transfer it, but the clerk demanded a power of attorney I didn't have. Then city demolition notices and back tax letters ate my days, and the update slipped through the cracks. Brianna had found the crack and turned it into a crowbar. I clenched my fists. I'll file whatever you want today. You're not touching these kids. Most of them aren't picture perfect. Some can't speak, some can't walk. Dragging them away won't just terrify them, it could kill them. Brianna smirked. You still believe in fairy tales. You really think I'll let your paperwork go through? She leaned in, breath hot against my ear. Time's up. I warned you, don't compete for a man you can't handle. You weren't good enough 5 years ago, and you're not good enough now. Straightening, she signaled her crew. Take them. Men surged into every room, hauling kids out by the arms. The children screamed, bit, kicked, anything to stay. The difference between adult strength and tiny limbs is a canyon, one by one they lost. I threw myself between them, begging, sobbing, snatching one child only to see two more disappear. Through my tears I watched the last little jacket vanish past the gate. Silence crashed down. I sagged to my knees in the empty yard, tears splattering the dust. Brianna squatted in front of me, satisfied. Serena, I told you I'd make sure you couldn't survive in Riverdale. Brianna left. I sat on the ground, limp, staring at the wreckage strewn across the yard. That was when Julian showed up. His face was nothing but apology as he reached to pull me up. I slapped his hand away. Julian, what will it take for you to finally leave me alone? His hand froze midair. I'm sorry, Serena, it's my fault. I didn't keep Brianna on a leash. Don't worry, I'll fix this. Trust me. I scrubbed the tears from my face and laughed. Trust you? Julian, don't you hear how ridiculous you sound? I'm not even talking about how you failed me. Tell me, what did mother ever do to you that you're trying to drive her to her grave? He stared, stunned, lips trembling. I didn't. I never meant to hurt her. I slammed my palm across his cheek, cutting him off. You didn't? But you did it anyway. Julian, you're an animal, worse than an animal. He rose slowly. He stood there for a long moment, then finally walked off without a word. After he left, I started dialing every number I knew. Thankfully, the kids who'd grown up with Julian and me were adults now, doing well in every line of work. Without them, the orphanage couldn't have stayed open these past years. Night fell and I was still on the phone, begging for help. Just as I felt myself about to shatter, I heard children's voices bubbling toward me. I thought I was hallucinating, but the next second a swarm of kids crashed into my arms. Mother, we're home. Behind them stood Julian. I didn't speak to him, I just herded the kids to the washroom to clean up. Julian stepped in anyway, patiently helping them brush teeth and wash CES. I didn't stop him. I wouldn't fight in front of the children. When they were all asleep, Julian and I leaned against the courtyard wall, tilting our heads to the moon. The sky was black, and my mind slipped back through the years. We'd had no money as kids, so fireworks were impossible. Julian used to take me to the wholesale lot at New Year's, point at the sky, and say, "Look, Serena, my personal firework shower for you. When I'm rich, I'll set off the biggest, brightest firework in the world for you. I'll propose under those lights and carry you home as my wife." The boy's eyes had been beautiful, sparks dancing in them, sincerity brimming like a tide. But later, maybe because the city banned fireworks, maybe because he no longer wanted to marry me, I never got either the fireworks or the proposal. Serena. His voice pulled me back from the empty sky. I looked at him and felt a fist clench around my heart. This man was no longer the one I had loved. He didn't wait for an answer, he kept talking. Serena, will you ever forgive me? No, never. Serena, how did you get this thin? None of your damn business. Serena, do we still have a future? That future died ages ago. He spoke, I answered silently. But his voice cracked. I regret it, Serena. Every single day I regret it. Give me one more chance. Let's start over, okay? Marry me, Serena. I promise to propose, and you promise to be my wife. Wind kicked up, like grit blown into my eyes. Julian, do I look that easy to bully? Epilogue. He went silent, only his tears kept dripping. I sighed. Julian, you only came back because Brianna turned out to be less perfect than you imagined. That's not love. He opened his mouth, I raised a hand. 5 years ago, why couldn't you just admit you were bored? 20 whole years with only me, you felt trapped, you wanted variety. You were sure I'd never leave because my whole world was you, so you partied every night, booze and neon lights, never caring whether it gutted me. Now you're tired of Brianna too, so I pop back into your head. If I went back to you, in 20, no, 10, 5, maybe just 2, you'd be bored again, and the raised hand would land on my cheek while you dragged me out the door. He whispered, I won't. I swear I've changed. Serena, these years I've met so many people. They love my money, my power, everything attached to me. I've never found another you, another mother, someone who loved me just for being me. I was young and stupid and I lost you. I couldn't bear to hear any more. And he dared bring up mother? He had no right. I walked toward the house without looking back. His muted voice followed me. Serena, I brought the kids home. Can you forgive me? I stopped. Your wife caused the mess, you were only cleaning it up. Forgiveness comes after you actually fix what you broke. Next morning at breakfast the kids were chattering when the TV cut in. Urgent business news. Brianna was taken in for questioning last night. Sources say she allowed relatives to siphon millions from Caldwell and shielded illegal operations. The family is also suspected of major tax fraud. We'll keep you updated. I steadied myself and handed the next child a bowl of porridge. It's hot, sweetie, blow on it. 3 nights later I was cradling a mug of tea when the Finance Channel flashed another headline. Caldwell's board has accepted Julian's resignation. The company he founded is now under investigation for repeated legal infractions. If convicted of financial crimes, Julian faces a possible life sentence. I stared at the screen. My phone pinged, an 8-figure wire transfer labeled unrestricted gift to the orphanage. A second message popped up. Serena, this time will you forgive me? I blocked his number without hesitation. Julian, I already told you. You only did what you owed. I will never forgive you. I rubbed the warm mug, calm, terrifyingly calm, until a tear slipped and rippled the tea. I walked to the window and okayed at the starless sky. Julian, there's no moon tonight. And my future, it no longer has you in it. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, hit like and share it with friends. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.